All right, it's midweek on the Parker and the Man page here at yournews.com, and there it is right behind me. And I was kind of moved today to write about the Tiger-Red Sox game, the long rain delay game from Fenway. If you saw it, you saw the brawl between Rick Porcello and Kevin Youkilis. We call it the big brawl game. It wasn't as big as it could have been. It wasn't quite the melee that it could have turned out to be, but there was something I found interesting in it, and that is kind of the coming of age of Rick Porcello. Sometimes it takes those kinds of things, defending your teammates, getting into a brawl, especially when the Red Sox were going after one of your best players. Twice, that's 2 times in 2 days, that Miguel Cabrera got hit by Red Sox pitchers, and when it happened the second time, you just knew that either a wink and a nod, from Jim Leland or Rick Knapp, the pitching coach, and Rick Porcello was going out there to go get himself a Red Sox player, and it turned out to be Youkilis. If they're going to go after your best player, arguably Youkilis might be Boston's. He's certainly an all-star player. And I just thought that Porcello really got his man card. I call it the Golden Coconut Award for what Porcello did in going after Youkilis and getting ejected from the game, and he had a lot of fire. Youkilis went right after him on the mound. They tackled to the ground. Could have been worse, as I said. Could have been more punches thrown or something, but didn't have to be. He proved his point. We've seen it over the years. Dave Roseman did it. Jeff Weaver did it. Kyle Farnsworth, other pitchers in the course of time. I was just giving you some Tiger guys who have had incidences where I think they probably proved themselves in the clubhouse. Weaver, not so much, but certainly Rosie did with that karate kick. Did that karate kick thing going against the Twins about, 25, 26 years ago. Can't believe it's been that long, but Rick Porcello earned his stripes. That's what you can read about today in the Parker and the Man page about Porcello earning his Tiger stripes. 20 years old, won't be 21 till December, and that is coming of age for a guy who's going to be a baseball pitcher in the majors, barring any injury, for a long time. Kid's got 10 wins. He slowed down a little bit, as expected as a rookie. And you don't want to lose any game. The Tigers lost at 7-5. Still got 2 to play with the Red Sox. But maybe it helped in the long run. We'll see if that makes a difference. Get them fired up again to get a little streak going here. They're still in first place in the Central, but that was really, I thought it was cool. Not popular to say, not politically correct. Don't let the kids see the webcam today, because they'll say, oh, that guy's telling you what you shouldn't hear. Don't ever think that brawling is good. But sometimes necessary. So good for you, Rick Porcello. Tiger Woods says he's not being fined by the PGA for his slow play and the comments he made about John Paramore, the official, when he actually said to Padraig Harrington that sorry that John ruined a good battle. Tiger says he's not being fined. I kind of was bummed. I want Tiger to be fined for speaking his mind, It sounds like, as I wrote about, Tiger power, if you know what I mean. The ratings for the last 2 weeks with Tiger playing, way up. Buick Open, 167% up from last year when Tiger didn't play. And same with the Bridgestone, about 114% up. So Tiger Woods says he's not being fined for that. I don't believe it. They never talk about it. PGA doesn't have to release that information about penalties and whatnot and that kind of consequence. But he says it's not happening. I hope it is. I hope he was losing some money for it. How about a quiet Lions camp? What are we now, day 12 coming up here at Lions camp, and outside of Jared DeVries' injury, which was bad, a season ending. I think Jim Schwartz done a great job keeping this thing on an even keel. 0-16, this thing could have gotten, spiraling a little out of hand, although they could use a little brawl in camp. One of those lineman fights with a big burly lineman go at it, go like crazy. So maybe that'll happen yet. They can call Porcello for details, and I wrote about that as well. How come nobody has sniffed out where Michael Vick is going to play? Is it strange to you? It's strange to me. All these great reporters like John Clayton and Chris Mortensen and some of these other cats that claim to be these big, experts on breaking stories. You'd think someone would have, like that, sniffed it out where Michael Vick was playing. They thought they had him in Washington with the Redskins, but his agent showed up to see other people. So his agent says he's close, but you don't see a team. Could be the 49ers. Could be a couple of others. Supposedly there's something there with Michael Vick, but nothing yet. And I think they're frustrated, those guys who cover the NFL on a regular basis. Pistons made a great hire. John Kuester hired Brian Hill as his lead assistant coach. Brian Hill coached the Orlando Magic twice. He's the guy that was the coach when Shaq and Penny were playing for Orlando when they played the Rockets in '95 in the NBA Finals. It's a good hire. Brian Hill's a good guy, and he's an expert on a lot of things. He's a pretty good defensive and offensive coach, actually. He doesn't get a lot of credit for '95 because they did have Shaq and Penny and Horace Grant and Nick Anderson. But Brian Hill also coached the Grizzlies, and now he's going to sit next to John Kuester and give Q-Ball some credit because a lot of guys won't hire people who could replace them. And Brian Hill's that kind of guy. And as I wrote in the column today, and you can read it, I'll just say it anyhow, it means we can say the phrase, "What the Brian Hill is going on around here?" Hey, the What's Your Beef contest continues. Just write any of the email guys that you see on your sports page. Send an email off, send a blog off. I'm TV Boy at YourNewsDetroit.com. Rob Parker is Rob at YourNewsDetroit.com. The way it works is it's like the old Stoney and Wojo, What's Your Beef? By the way, Stoney wrote a nice piece. His Getting Stoned. You want to read that as well on his page. But the What's Your Beef thing, just anything in sports that you're beefed off about and you want to beef about it. You can do that. It doesn't have to be long. Just write something up. The best of the beefs will win $200 worth of meat from Ronnie's Meats out there at Central Market Gratiot, right there in Gratiot. Ronnie's Meat's been around a long time. They've got some incredible beef there. Maybe the best meat market in the area in Metro Detroit. In fact, I'll just say it is because I've had their stuff and it's outstanding. So good for Ronnie and Tom Bedway for providing us $200 gift certificate worth of meat that you can win. We're going to give it to you, the best beefer, on the What's Your Beef contest in relation to the Detroit Sports Freak Show, which we'll have more information for you coming up in the very near future. That's it. Check it all out. The Rick Porcello thing from last night from the Boston game. Tigers losing that. Tiger Woods not fine. The Quiet Lions camp. Michael Vick stuff. Brian Hill with the Pistons. And the What's Your Beef. Okay? It's all there for you on the Parker Demand page, yournews.com. Log on early and often, as I always like to say.